All right, welcome back, Prospect Live viewers. We're back with another 2021 MLB Draft interview. Very excited about who we're welcoming onto the show today. It is Jaden Hill. He is a pitcher from LSU, former St. Louis Cardinals draft pick. Jaden, welcome to the show. Happy to have you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me.
All right, and of course, my co-host, Joe Doyle. Joe, I know you have a rapid-fire list of questions ready to spit out. So go hit him with it, man.
I got nothing. No. So, hey, man, I wanted to just start off with kind of a cliche. How has 2020 been for you? I mean, missing half of the season, coming back from injury, everything kind of shutting down. What's this been like?
Man, at first, whenever we were first received the news, it was tough. It was hard for all of us because we didn't know what to do. Everyone was quarantining for like a 3-week period before they told us, you can go home, just kind of go do your own thing. So no one knew what to expect. So it was tough. Things closed. Here in Baton Rouge, it was terrible. In New Orleans, so Louisiana went on a full lockdown. And so we just had no resources for a long period of time. But and then it was also a somewhat blessing for me as an individual because I got to get more alone time and get to figure out things about myself as far as playing baseball and on a mental standpoint. So it's kind of gone both ways for me.
Yeah, and I want to sort of piggyback on that a little bit because, after, an injury in 2019, that certainly limited the amount of innings you could throw. 2020 was a big year for you. So, kind of looking back, what was the plan? I know you were coming out of the pen early, but was it going to sort of roll it out to starts? I mean, and I'm sure there were parts of your game you were sort of excited to unleash as well, fully healthy
Right.
and ready to roll.
Right. The ultimate goal was to lead up to be a starter, but it was to the point to where honestly it didn't bother me. I was okay with the reliever role because the starters were doing so well. And
Sure.
so I had enough trust in them to where I was like, guys, you go out there and throw 6-7 innings and all I have to do is throw 2. And so that was fun. I just wanted to stay healthy. That was my main goal this year, is just to stay healthy, keep the ball in my hand every weekend. I really didn't care for starting, relieving, closer. Once the season's going on, you really stop caring about those type of things.
Just quick follow-up question on, in terms of staying healthy, were there things that you sort of changed about your training, whether it was, coming back from the injury, certainly, but sort of leading up to the season just to strengthen certain things that was different from how you had approached it previously?
Yeah, definitely being more careful and more awareness in the training room. Really, just taking care of my body and taking it more serious and making sure that you do more of a prehab so you don't have to rehab. So that was basically the main thing. Just staying in the training room and putting my arm first.
I want to rewind even a little bit further. A lot of us haven't been through what you've been through. That arm injury, that UCL injury. Can you walk back and talk to us a little bit about maybe when it happened or if it was a gradual thing or kind of how you dealt with that sort of a blow in 2019?
Yeah, it was a bummer for me because I was off such a high. I just got to college. I got to start the first 2 weekends here, and then I didn't feel it until the next morning. It was just a soreness. I got up to take a shower before class. I played on Sunday, so Monday we had class. Got up, take a shower, and couldn't twist the door handle over, and it was just really, really sore for a long time, and it just kept agging me throughout the process of me returning. And it was just something that was aggravating because I got multiple MRIs, multiple shots, different type of things, and there was really nothing wrong with the MRIs were clean, everything was clean. It was just something that kept agging me, and so that's what made it so tough for me because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was, yeah, but it also gave me a time to realize that I need to start taking advantage of opportunities once I get back on the field. So it was definitely tough for me because I didn't know what was wrong,
Yeah.
and so that was the toughest part for me.
So I'm going to switch gears a little bit here, and we'll go to some more happy moments. You know that you're a former, I think, 38th round draft pick of the St. Louis Cardinals. You made the decision to not go pro and go to LSU. I guess my first part of this question is sort of, what was that experience like, as a high schooler, and really what drove that decision? Was it always like, I'm going to LSU, or were you really considering, making the jump to the professional ranks?
Oh, I definitely was planning to go play professional ball. That's my ultimate goal. It still is since I was a kid. What is to be a professional athlete, And so, it came down to a lot of things. It came down to the draft slot money, different, those different things. But at the end of the day, I was still happy with my decision because LSU is one of the most premier schools in the country. And I definitely didn't regret my decision coming here. I love it here. I love the people here. I love the coaching staff and my teammates. It's been perfect since I've been here.
Well, talk to me a little bit about your time at LSU because, as you probably know, I mean, there's a lot of helium, a lot of hype surrounding your name right now in draft circles and college baseball circles. I mean, frankly, you're considered one of the premier college arms going into this next year. Only 10 innings your freshman year, 11 innings your sophomore year. I'm assuming you want to see that ramp up a little bit in 2021. Kind of, how are you prepping for that? And what do you have that's personally a goal for your junior year?
It's definitely to be out there every weekend. That's my ultimate goal, is to go out there every weekend and give it my all. That's all I really want to do that and win a national championship. I mean, I don't want to leave here. If things go right, I don't want to leave here without winning. Everyone's working hard. Everyone on my team got this time off, and so I just feel like I need to go as hard as possible so that I can help the team in any given way.
Who's the sticking with the LSU stuff? Who's the best hitter that you've played with while at LSU?
I would say, as far as a contact hitter, definitely Antoine Duplantis, because he's just all over. He can hit anything on any side of the plate, definitely. And from a power standpoint, I would say Cade Beloso.
Yeah,
he definitely has a strong bat.
All right, I want to talk about your pitches a little bit because they're nasty. Okay. They're nasty.
All right.
Yeah, the velo is impressive, but I want to talk a little bit about the slider because I think that's kind of the pitch that sets you apart from a lot of other guys in the country. Can you walk us through maybe – I know you don't have a baseball on you, but can you kind of walk us through your train of thought when you're throwing that pitch? And is there anything specifically in this summer or leading up to next year that you're working to improve with that breaking ball?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever I first got here, I really didn't have one. All I had was a changeup. I had a fastball and a changeup. I wasn't a consistent curveball slider thrower at all. So definitely having the ball in my hand throughout from my freshman, sophomore year, more from pitching every day helped a lot. Just me getting a feel for it. And that's something that I'm really working on now, is just having that feel to be able to flip it in 0-0 counts, early ahead in the game wherever I want to. But for me, my mentality is just throw it like a fastball, almost like just have a mentality, throw it as hard as I can and have a target a little more higher to the right than normal. I really try to keep it as simple as possible. I don't overthink things. I don't get technical with things. I keep it simple and keep a competitive attitude, and that just helps me. Some people like to dive into different things, and mine's just all feel. If I have great feel with it, then it's going to be a good day.
I got a quick follow-up on that. Do you think your changeup is your second best pitch? Because I know you threw the slider a lot this year, but the changeup gets pretty good marks too. What do you think of the two pitches? What do you prefer?
Honestly, my changeup is 100 times better than any pitch that I have, and I just haven't had a chance. I just haven't showed that. I think me coming back, I was overwhelmed coming in the closer role, and so all I wanted to do was throw hard. And when I did that, I kind of got away from my changeup feel, trying to stay healthy, I gained the cutter, and I also gained the slider. And I think I just got away from a changeup, which is really my go-to pitch. If there was film from a while back, it's my best pitch, hands down. And so that's what I've also went back to, and that's what I want to live and die by for my best pitch.
There you go. My follow-up's kind of on the slider. I'm interested in, you said you added a cutter as well. What was the process like for developing those pitches? I mean, was it something that you kind of had as a goal going in, that I want to add, a more formal breaking ball? Or was it a particular coach? Like, what's the genesis of that whole thing?
I had too much time on my hands being hurt. I had a lot of time on my hands. So that definitely was it. During my freshman year, whenever I played a lot of catch, and talked to a lot of guys about what they were doing with health reasons and, just creating conversations, trying to gain as much knowledge as possible. And that's how those pitches came along. I would ask maybe Cole Henry, hey, Cole has a 12-6 curve. I would ask him, hey, how are you, da da da. And then I would ask Vidmar, he's a cutter pitcher. I would ask him, what are you doing? And kind of just take knowledge from those guys and apply it to myself. And I played a lot of catch from my time, and though it came pretty natural to me, and it felt good, so I just stuck with it.
Go ahead, Ralph, if you got another one.
Yeah, I was going to follow up and just say, I know you say you don't get into the details or overthink it at all. Do you dive into the tech at all? Are you using Rapsodo and any sort of tech at all, or is it just keeping it all natural and feel?
For me, honestly, it's all natural and feel. But I definitely feel I have to take advantage of that. You know, it's technology that's here. It's helped a lot of guys, and so I've used it a couple times. I've heard the numbers. I'm starting to understand how it works more and more, and what I need to do to provide for my own stuff. You know, some of that stuff can be kind of iffy depending on what type of pitcher you are. And so I'll take the information, listen to it, and see, you know, what kind of applies to me, what kind of is like, nah, I'm gonna stay true to myself. And so I mean, it's technology that is around in the world. So I mean, you'd be crazy not to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, as just a quick aside, I watched a lot of that. I mean, I'll be honest, I watched a lot of your film this last weekend. Dude, the cutter's legit. The cutter's legit. Keep throwing that cutter.
I got you.
Yeah, so I wanna circle back on goals for this year. You rehab for a summer. You are essentially rehabbing for another summer. I mean, you only pitched a handful of innings here. So with 18 to 24 months of rehab, you know, under your belt or ahead of you, do you want to be the Friday night guy next year, or are you good with being the lights out closer, or you know, what is this time ahead of you kind of preparing you for?
Honestly, I think that'll be a question that'll come up maybe closer to the season. You know, it's not really something I'm worried about right now. Personally, you know, that's coach's decision, and however he feels I can help with the team. But in all honesty, wherever they put me, I honestly just want to play the entire year, give it my all, and, you know, make a great run for championship. That's very simple, and that's all I want to do while I'm here.
Got it.
It's all about that compete level. I feel you.
Yeah. Really, that's what it's all about, man. That's why I'm starting. You know, coming as a freshman, you know, sometimes you get the big head. I want to do this. I want to do that. But the more and more you're around those guys, the more hard work you put in with them, and you know, just everything. All I want to do is win with them, you know, and celebrate.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately what the goal is too. You know, is to go in there, and I think that it's often sort of underrated just in terms of you know, the level and focus of actually being competitive and trying to win games and not, you know, just trying to stand out and be a singular entity in a baseball team. Because in that sport, I mean, it's much easier to do than it is in other sports. But I'll get off my diatribe. I want to ask you another specific question. Who's the best hitter you faced? You know, not obviously team, but who's the best hitter you faced college-wise? You know, since you've been at LSU.
I haven't faced many people.
Yeah.
I've only got
You only gave up one hit this year.
Yeah, I haven't faced many people, and I don't know names very well either. I kind of know numbers and things, but I'm gonna go with that righty. I mean, I saw him play a couple times. The righty from Texas was pretty good. He's a big first baseman, I think. The big first baseman from Texas. He was pretty solid. I would say he was someone that was in the box, and I was like, okay, I have to come with my best stuff, you know. And I didn't really get to see too much with me being hurt and not facing that many batters, and but I would definitely say it was someone from that Texas lineup.
I'm thinking of that giant first baseman from Texas Tech, like Cameron Cannon or something, but
yeah, I've heard that name.
Yeah, it might be.
It's I think he's number 52.
And you do know numbers.
Yeah, number 52. I don't know. I suck at names. I know faces and stuff like that. I suck at that.
Well, hey, I got a good question for you. So the Cape was canceled, of course, which is a huge bummer. But did you put any thought into pitching summer ball this year, doing any wooden bat leagues?
No, I didn't. It was either Cape was my first option to go to. I went to try Team USA out. You know, I wanted to see if that was an option for me. But if not, you know, honestly, I've met with a guy named Anthony Ronaldo. He's pitched here. And I just want to spend the entire summer working with him, figuring out things, you know, about pitching. I played 2 sports in high school, so I didn't have any knowledge of pitching until I got here. And so I'm just taking this time to gain as much knowledge as possible that I can during this time and just put it all to work.
So it's Zach Zubia is the guy that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Before he's like 240, so 52.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It may be his size. I don't really know too much about his bat, but his size, I was like, okay, he's big guy in 3-0. I got to come with it for him.
That's all now. So I wanted to sort of compare and contrast, right? So you're going through the process again, the draft process again this year, but you've been through it before, so you're older, you're wiser, all that sort of stuff. But is it different, coming as a college player versus as a prep? I mean, expectations obviously for you now are much different than they were, but compare and contrast that a little bit for me, because I'm sure it's a different experience.
It definitely is completely different because now that I look back in high school, I didn't have it together at all. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know I didn't know much about anything. But now, since I've gained information and everything, I just want to have fun, and just let things happen. In high school, I was kind of stressed about it. I have to do this, I have to do that. But, now, I feel like things will take care of itself. I put in the hard work, I prepared. And so, whatever happens, happens. I just want to make sure I have fun this year.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
So, Jaden, you're going to be draft eligible next June. If you were speaking to a big league front office, kind of sell me on Jaden Hill and what a team is getting if they elect to go with you.
Definitely someone who's hardworking, which is the more typical thing to say, but someone who just wants to gain knowledge and put it to his work. Basically, that's what I want to do. I want to basically be the best Jaden Hill that I can be. Take my talents and the abilities I have and be the best player that I can be and help the team in any way possible. I don't care for roles. I'm not a selfish player who cares for the individual spotlight. I want to help the team in any way, and leading up to that, I have to put in the work to do that, to help. And so that's the person that you're going to get, the most hardworking person that you've ever seen.
Right. I like it. Joe, do you have any more questions? You want to jump into a couple of the handful of goofy Eddie questions? We have a producer that likes to send us fun questions. You have anything you want to pick out?
I don't have anything on the baseball side. Do you want me to hit you with a goofy one, Jaden?
Go for it. Let's see what happens.
All right, man. So let's see. A good one that Eddie gave us was, why don't you tell us the weirdest fact or bit of information that that you think people don't know? I'll give you a little precursor. So another guy we talked to, Benny Montgomery, said Pringles are not a potato chip because there's not enough potato in them. So that's a pretty dumb fact. So if you can beat that amount of dumb, you got it, man.
You got to get the Jeopardy.
I don't think that you can get a ticket with the light on in the car. Driving
Really?
down the road. Nah, I was always told that was something that you turn the light off so you don't get a ticket. But I don't think you can get a ticket.
Huh.
I agree. My parents always told me to stop me from reading in the car when I was a kid. And now I have kids and I drive around with them and I'm like, it's at night and we're driving back from my in-laws in New Jersey or something like that. Yeah, you can keep the light on. Read. Just
exactly.
Don't each other.
I was always told not to have it on. So I think it's false information. I don't think you can get a ticket. So that's pretty interesting.
That's pretty good. That's actually useful.
It is. Could vary from state to state, though. That's the only thing.
Funny. Yeah, it's true.
It could vary from state to state. I think. All right, I'm going to ask the goofy question from Eddie that I like. All right.
All right.
So you have a choice of one of two things. Either you have one song, but every artist in the world can play that one song and no other song, or you have every song in the world, but it has to be sung by Pitbull.
That one song.
By every artist?
Everybody always does that.
That one song that every artist can sing. Is that what it is?
You only get two options. The rest.
You only get two options. Or Pitbull sings every possible song that's ever been written, but he's the only artist that can sing any songs.
Yeah, I may have to go with Pitbull.
Really?
Yeah, I may have to go with Pitbull because you got to think about it. Some of the other people gonna ruin that one song for you, but then he might too.
Oh, that's true. I never thought of that.
Tough.
You hear one bad rendition of that one song and it's ruined.
Exactly. It's over.
It's true. Then you'll just hear that for the rest of the time. That's a good call. See, I said that just because I want some variety in terms of songs. Like even if it was Pitbull, I would hope that maybe he would improve. You know.
Right. Yeah, he may figure it out. So I don't
think he's gonna figure it out.
You don't think so? Yeah, Pitbull type of guy.
I mean, I'll give him credit for the music videos, but
that's it. I agree. And the commercials.
The commercials are good.
And his commercials.
Actually, you know what? That Fireball song is pretty good when you're tailgating. So I know him on that.
All right. 20 minutes. That's what it is. We're going to leave it off on the Pitbull question. Jaden, thank you for joining us. That was an excellent interview. I can't wait until your name is called in the top 5 in next year's draft. I have you ranked that way, so back me up, man. Hold it up, please.
Yes, sir. I got you. I appreciate you guys having me.